From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
Welcome back to another episode of Business Champions, brought to you by Foodies Care and the Daily News Network. I'm Steve Strum. I got a full bar today. I got some really cool people to talk to. We're going to be talking about the growth of Northeast Florida, how we're both attracting people locally, nationally, and some really neat things that are happening. And we're going to start all the way at the end with my good friend, Major Harding, talking about his experience, 40 years in the construction business. If anybody can talk about what Jacksonville has become from now until now, what is your impact and what is your perception, sir?
Well, from an infrastructure general contractor, I was part of the growth, Better Jacksonville plan, all the way through doing DOT projects, Department of Defense projects, basically all public works contracts. So I got to see firsthand and be a part of it, see the growth. I was born and raised in Jacksonville. I think there was about 100,000 people here when I was born in 1960, and now there's, 1.4 million in the metro area. So it's just been crazy growth.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've been here for 20 years myself, and I remember when certain areas where we now have giant shopping malls were stoplights and 2-lane highways. Crazy. Jason Smith.
Yes.
Now you are
common spelling.
Regular, not figure.
Yes.
I say to see who you wore somebody else's shirt. So it's okay. I get it. We're going to talk about a little bit about what you're doing in the digital HELOC space. So we were talking a little offset. You don't necessarily do HELOCs directly, but you help financial institutions, banks, and credit unions in an ever-changing regulatory environment have a streamlined process. So if we're growing, people are going to need money to do things. Tell us a little bit about what you do professionally for financial institutions to help provide money for the folks that want to buy major stuff.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, the simplest thing is we make it easy and we make it quick. In a modern environment, people are really used to, I like to call it the MasterCard or Visa experience, where I know I have good credit, I know I have equity, I know I have good income. I should be able to get this quickly. I can walk into a dealership 30 minutes later, I walk out with a $78,000 car, but it takes historically 4 to 6 weeks for a person to access their equity. And especially in today's market where most of us have been established for a while, have very low rates on our first mortgage, we're not going to touch that. But if we want to leverage services to make improvements to our house, we want to add a pool, we want to pay off debt, you want to pay for schooling, different things like that, we really don't have the time to wait, or frankly, the patience to wait 4 to 6 weeks for a very archaic process. So we created a very simple process, I was thinking about it on the way here actually. Most of the time people talk about meeting their customers or their members or their borrowers where they're at. Well, most of the time people don't know where they're at because they don't know what's out there or what to do. So we create an experience that they're not expecting, which makes our partners look that much better. So it's a very good branding thing as well as something that really helps the public. And I'm not only an employee and a t-shirt owner, but I also have a Figure HELOC myself.
So for the folks that are watching this, Figure's not a bank. You
Correct.
are a solution that a bank is going to use, or a credit union, and we'll touch on something that everybody knows, the car loan. And in a previous life, before I went into the wealth management side, I was in charge of a credit union. And the problem is there was only so many branches. And I can't go out and be on a Saturday at the Nissan dealership to get my car loan. So we developed a software program where our lending platform could be at the dealership, so that way, now it's all branded with the credit union, that they see the seamless experience, but that way I can be there without necessarily having the brick and mortar. You provide that for the institution to be able to expand their experience without having to hire people.
Right.
So it's not an overhead cost to the bank or credit union, because if you're a smaller regional bank or local bank, every time you add a person, that eats the bottom line.
Right.
So you're able to do that to help the bank and credit union be more efficient, help the client get to the member quicker, and then also make sure that you're keeping up with whatever regulation came out today. So,
Exactly.
Because it is definitely something out there. So when somebody's wanting to do that, I have a house, I want to put something on the back, or I have a patch of dirt, we got to have money. So Elysia Stobbe, there's 15 million different ways I can describe you, but today we're going to talk to you about your construction perm stuff that might have a little bit of stuff with Jason.
So also when we're talking about construction, there's so much construction going on in Jacksonville right now. It's very exciting, whether you're downtown or at the beaches. So we do have a VA 100% financing, construction to perm, and then FHA 96.5% as well. So if somebody wants to use the bank's money, our money, the lenders, right, the mortgage company's money instead of their own, there's all kinds of built-in protections as far as draws go to make sure that general contractor is approved and everything's solid there. So I think sometimes also when people may go off on their own, they may not understand how the whole process works or what needs to be done through all the stages. And we have a specialty team that helps guide them. So.
And so we can talk for hours on that stuff, and you and Jason can go nerd it out. You're a three-time best-selling author that talks about this stuff, which we'll put some of your book stuff on our website. But last but not least, I'm actually a client of Tom James Clothing, which we have Emily Franson. You get that right?
Yep.
You can speak to all of this stuff we're talking about with people moving here from other areas, because you moved here from another area.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what Tom James is. Got to make sure you're looking good. But what your experience has been as a transplant to Jacksonville, and then what your clients are doing as they're moving here.
Sure. So I've been doing this for 10 years up in New York City, but I make custom clothing, and I go to people's homes and offices, measure them up there, bring all the swatches. So most of my clients work with me because they're either a tough fit off the rack or they just don't have the time to go to the store or deal with alterations. So after 10 years in New York, I decided to move home to Jacksonville, my hometown. And my experience restarting here has been really amazing because almost all of my clients down here are former New Yorkers or Northeasterners. So it's just amazing to see how many people have moved down to the Jacksonville area and how much it's growing.
You forgot one segment of your client base, which is represented by me, a total pain in the butt. And I apologize, and I'm very thankful for all of your patience, because I run hard, and it is definitely, it's one of those ones where I can very much appreciate there. Most of the time, my assistant tells me when somebody's going to be there, they show up, and I'm like, oh, great. How long has this been on the calendar? For a year. Yep. And so thank you very much on behalf of all the pain in the butts. We don't mean to. It's just, man, I just 15 hours a day without batting an eye, and sometimes it's, do I meet with you or do I get to go to the bathroom, right?
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
clearly meet with you because it's time for a new suit because you have a trunk sale coming on occasion, right?
Yep.
So you got to make sure we get a good deal. So I know your organization gives back to the community. I've given back with you to the community. You better give back to the community or else I'm going to have to arm wrestle you, but you got to hold him down because he's about a half a foot taller.
I'll do it.
As we're taking it away, a lot of what we do here, right? A lot of fun, talking about Jacksonville, talking about the area, talking about economics and all the fun things and what we do behind the bar. But one of the major organizations that we have, which should be conveniently located right here, is called Foodies Care, which works with an organization major that you're on the board of called 6-8 Ministries.
That's
and
correct.
We got a little something coming up. So final word to you, sir. Let's talk a little bit about the Bourbon and Barbecue event, what it is, when it is, and why the people watching this thing should be there.
So I also serve on the board of directors of Foodies Care, and Foodies Care supports 6-8 Ministries. 6-8 Ministries feeds approximately 1,000 meals a week to the poorest of the poor, children and homeless in Costa Rica. So we're having our big annual Bourbon and Barbecue event. It's in Switzerland, Florida, on State Road 13 on April 25th from 4 to 8. And we just love for everybody to come out, buy a table. We're going to have live auction, silent auction. Brian Sexton's going to be our auctioneer, former voice of the Jaguars. So we've got really great, we got an African safari. We have a lot of great prizes, a lot of firearms, good stuff.
So that is going to be a great opportunity for people that want to give back, that are watching this show, for you guys that are already philanthropically inclined to do something to give back to people that may not be able to do it themselves. And that's on April 25th, Switzerland, Florida. For everybody that doesn't know where that's at, it's in the southwest corner of Jacksonville, east of the Buckman Bridge.
Basically just north of Greenbrier Road on State Road 13.
There you go. So as we take it away, guys, gals, thank you so much for taking time to spend with us today. I will do my best Brian Sexton impression. So everybody here, thank you so much for joining us at the Business Champions. If you liked the episode, share the episode. Remember, live with gratitude and go Jaguars.